Hey, this is Daniel for Adorama Pro. Today on set, we're out in the Adorama Street Fair. We're here at 18th Street. We're going to show off the new Profoto B1 light. This is a great battery-powered monolight. It works TTL with Canon systems right now. I've got a 5D Mark III and the Air controller on top. Dave here has the B1 light, super compact. This is the battery right here. We've got a little baby softbox on it. And we've got Kim over here. We're going to make a portrait of Kim. Essentially, she's standing in the sun to get the background that we want, but the shadows on her face are pretty harsh. I'm going to shoot it like this to kind of show you what we're getting. Okay, so chin up a little bit towards the camera. Good. Here we go. Good. Okay. Basically, what we've got here is really sharp, really harsh light, dark shadows, highlights are blown out. What we're going to do is bring our light in on her shadow side to fill it in a bit and create a more pleasing image. So I'm going to leave the TTL settings at 0 and we'll see what we get. Dave's just going to get a little closer with the light. It's a small softbox, so we want to bring it in relatively close because the closer your light is, the softer it will be. So now with the softbox in there. All right, what was the shadow side has now become our highlight side, and the daylight is actually being overpowered pretty significantly by the flash. Sometimes with TTL, when you're mixing your sources like in a big space like this, it might not give you an exact perfect exposure. But just as an experiment, I think what we can try to do is get the shadow side darker. So I'm gonna make the daylight darker. I can't tell the sun to go down, so I'm just gonna use my aperture here. I'm at f8 now. I'm gonna go f11. Now, because I'm in TTL, assuming the flash has enough power, which it should at this distance, what should happen is the daylight or the shadow side will get darker and the flash will remain the same. Okay, here we go. Same thing, Kim. Good, here we go. Nice. Okay, so you see here now the shadow side, which is the daylight. If you remember in the beginning, that was our highlight, is now a nice shadow and we got a nice even light across her face. The other kind of cool thing that's going on here is by changing my aperture, I've now made the background much darker because we're in the shade in the background. So essentially I'm shooting at f11 during the day. It's pretty bright down there, but it's going just black. I'm just getting everything out of the shot. Now, if I wanted to show the street fair in this photo, I could again use my aperture because I'm in TTL. I don't have to adjust my flash at all. If I go down to, let's say, a 5.6, right? That's now going to reverse it. Our shadows are going to become less dark and the background will brighten up significantly. Dave. Okay, here we go. So now we can see in this one that now we're going back to our flash being the shadow side and you can see everything behind her. You can see those people back there, you can see the tent and everything else. Coming to the sun. Let's say, for instance, I want to mess with the video here and I want to shoot into the sun. Sorry. What I can do here is, the sun is now behind Kim, so it's going to be her hair light. So what I can do is I can fill in her face with the flash by having Dave go in there. I'll keep all my other exposures the same. Okay, here we go. And there we go. Now, interestingly enough, I'm a little hot on the flash side, which I can adjust for. But you see she's got a nice beautiful hair light and the background's nice and bright. So I can adjust my flash again. I'm in TTL here, so I'm just gonna go back to here and I'm gonna move it back up. It was a little bright on the flash. So I'm gonna dial it down to, let's say, 2/3 or we'll go one stop down, why not? Good. Waiting for a person behind you, here we go. I think she's getting a little bit shiny because of the sun, but here we've got a nice shadow side, we've got a nice highlight side, and she's got a beautiful hair light, and of course we can see everything behind her in the background. And just a note that I'm shooting here at 5.6. So again, if I want my background to be a little darker, I can just go to f8, simply enough. Shoot one more. She's trying to get all fancy there for some reason. Okay, good. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I'm at f8. Background's darker, and again, this side of her face is being lit by the sun, so this side of her face now is darker. So I can control that shadow, and I can control my background with my f-stop, and my flash will always give me the same correct exposure on her face. Of course, these lights can be put into 3 different groups, so we actually could use multiple lights to do like a hair light, a fill light, etc. if we wanted to. But I find running around like this, one light is great. It's just enough to fill in and make it look nice. Okay, so that was the Profoto B1 Air. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can check it out on the website or send me an email.